There he is.
Am I sideways?
Yeah, you're sideways.
I'll just hold it then.
Okay. Sweet. What's going on?
All right, how's it going? Just at the office, I had two emergency patients, so just finished those up and now just hanging out.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, how are you?
Nothing. I have two patients after this, but I physically need to go see them. Yeah. All right. So everyone, welcome to episode 7. This is with Dr. Joseph Mondoux, who practices out of Windsor, Ontario. I met Joseph at NYCC. We were one of the few Canadians in the class. We graduated in 2014. One of the few Canadians who had to stick it out together because we were in a foreign land. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it was a good time. But now you moved home, which is close to Windsor, right? You're not.
Yeah, so I moved to Sarnia, which is where I'm originally from, when I graduated.
Yeah.
And then about, 4 years ago now, I moved to the Windsor area. So this is where I practice and live now.
Okay. Sweet. And so when we were at Chiro school, you were avidly playing sports and you're involved in a lot of clubs. So now what do you do in terms of practice? Like, where are you at? What type of athletes do you see? I see that you're working with the Lakeshore Canadiens,
Yeah.
which is like a junior hockey team. So tell us a
Yeah.
little bit about that.
Yeah, so where I practice now, it's a multidisciplinary clinic. It's chiropractor owned and run. So another chiropractor runs the clinic. And then we have massage therapists, we have osteopaths, two osteopaths, and we have a Ayurvedic doctor come in once a week.
Oh, sweet. Wow.
So he does acupuncture as well, more traditional acupuncture. So that's the office I'm in right now. You kind of run your own practice in this space. So
So it's like independent contracting, like a bunch of rooms
yeah,
that have been
yeah,
like,
yeah, independent contracting. So for those of you that don't know, you basically pay like a rent of some sort that encompasses overhead, but you kind of run your own practice out of the space. So
gotcha. Does everyone share the same electronic health record system?
yeah, so it's all the same system, same front desk. Where I am, it's really nice. We kind of share patients as well without any, hoarding the patients, which is good. So
Yeah.
it's a really good setup. So that's where I am right now. And you mentioned the Lakeshore Canadiens. Actually, I can see our trainers watching right now. Shout
Yeah.
out to Hard Dog.
Shout out to them.
So they're a junior C hockey team in Bell River, which is just about 15 minutes away from where I am.
Gotcha.
This was my, I believe, 4th season with them. So the setup I have with them is I just go to the home games. With my practice, it's hard to commit to travel because they do travel up to, an hour away, things like that, depending on how far we are in the season. But unfortunately, our season got cut short this year because of COVID. So they basically shut us all down, and we were killing it. So it's
Yeah.
unfortunate, but it's a good setup. I like working with athletes. It's kind of my main focus.
Yeah.
I see everybody. I'm sure you see the same thing.
Yeah.
Um, but athletes are fun. So anyone who's active, it doesn't have to be professional athlete, amateur athlete. People who just take activity as part of their normal life. So yeah.
Gotcha. Is this junior? What's the age group for the hockey team?
So I believe it's anywhere from about 16 to 21.
Okay.
16 would be considered like the underagers, and
Gotcha.
I believe it's 21 is the cutoff. You're limited on how many 21-year-olds you can have.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Which I know you as a chiropractor and working with athletes, it's a big age gap.
Yeah, for sure.
You're,
I feel like there's like, as you get older, there's like man muscle and then there's like kid athleticism. So it's like you might be faster, you might be able to run longer, but as soon as you come, let's say, into the paint or with bodily contact, whether it's on the ice or on the court, like you can tell like someone who's holding the ground or someone you're just gonna roll over or roll through.
exactly. So 16 to 21 is big. You got
Yeah.
small year olds and you got big 21-year-olds. You get injuries, that's for sure.
Yeah. There's a lot of contact, right? Do you see a lot of concussion patients with the hockey as well?
We get a handful of concussion patients for sure. A lot of shoulder injuries,
Okay.
AC joints, separations. I think it was one of the first games of our season. We had one of the rookies clavicular fracture. Um,
Wow.
so you get, yeah, concussions, shoulder injuries are the big ones. I've had a few hips. little things here and there, but those are
Yeah.
probably the main injuries I see from
Gotcha. Okay. So when you're treating as part of the home team or at the home games, do you also provide that service to the away team as well, or no, just strictly the?
Oh, no. So this is strictly with our team.
Gotcha.
Our teams have some kind of setup. Some chiros will travel with their teams. I just can't make it work, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But basically, what I do is I go to the games ahead of time. I'll I'll work on the athletes beforehand and address any injuries they got, nagging things.
Yeah.
Kind of get them all ready to go, and then in between periods, sometimes you'll have some tweaks or injuries.
Gotcha.
In game as well, like we'll have people come off with an injury mid game, and
Yeah.
then I usually stick around to the end of the game and just make sure things are good to go before I head home. So yeah.
Gotcha. So if they win, do you get a medal or a ring or anything?
If they so last year we won the division basically. I think Harv can correct me.
Yeah.
This area, which was great. There was a trophy for the team. I believe there's a plaque up in the dressing room. We got swag and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
If you win the full province,
Yeah.
you might get a ring. I don't know. I haven't been there.
Sweet. That would be awesome.
That would be awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So how do you move on a daily basis? So I see you put out some videos on exercises on how to help patients. I know you avidly work out, but I want you to kind of explain to everyone what you do on, like, let's say a weekly basis or on a daily basis to kind of stay active and stay moving.
Yeah. So I do put out videos. I try to put out videos of exercises, movement, patterns, things like that.
Yeah.
But my routine would typically be depending on how busy my week is and what I'm up to. But on a typical week, I try to get to the gym. If I can get 4 or 5 times a week and lift. I'm not a very avid like endurance trainer or
Okay. So
aerobic.
no high intensity work.
So actually, that one of my patients owns a gym
Yeah.
in the area that's a HIIT, a high intensity interval training gym.
Yep.
So I go there about once a week. It's called the Tribe. Shout out. It's great. So I try to go once a week, and that's basically my aerobic.
Gotcha.
Usually, and then I play volleyball once a week through the winter.
Sweet.
So I still play volleyball. I played when I was younger, and it's like an adult league here in town.
Gotcha. Is it competitive or it's more like a beer league?
It's tiered. So there's 1 through say 10 or something like that.
Okay.
Tier 1 would be ex college university players.
Yeah.
Full team of that, so it's really good ball. Tier 10 would probably be your rec.
Yeah.
We just want to get out and move. They float you through depending on how you finish multiple times throughout the season.
Gotcha.
So they'll go up or down a tier. We're about tier 4, so it's competitive. It's good. It's fun. Yeah, I like it a lot.
I played for a team as well. I think last year, the year before. And same thing, like every 3 or 4 games, they would reseed you. And I think volleyball is just one of those sports where it's like, you kind of have to be at the same level. If the other team is too good, then you're never going to be able to return the serve. Yeah. If you're too good, they're never going to be able to return it. So there's no rally, there's no fun. Exactly. So you have to keep reseeding, and I think that's probably the best way to do it. That makes sense.
It evens it out at the end, right? Like at the end of where you should be, which is it's a lot of fun. So that's basically my weekly routine. Yeah, I golf summer too, once a week usually. But obviously with the whole COVID situation, things have changed.
I mean, golfing is one of the sports where you're going to be more than 6 feet away from everyone. So it might be the first sport to actually be open to everyone. They might be like, hey, everyone can go, and you pick your time spot and you kind of go from there. Yeah. It might actually work out, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm hoping to get out and golf this summer, but I've been doing a lot of Jillian Michaels, the app.
What's that?
My fiance's got an app on her phone. It's like a Jillian Michaels. She was a trainer on The Biggest Loser.
Okay, gotcha.
So she has a workout app. So that's pretty much home workouts is what we're doing now.
Yeah.
With the clothes. So my routine changed, but it's been still it's still good. I'm moving as much as I can.
Gotcha. So why do you choose more strengthening over, let's say, cardio or other forms of training?
It's basically a preference. I mean, I did track, I did cross country, all that stuff through school.
Yeah.
Cross country, I never liked. I never liked the long distance. I was distance or explosive type sports. So I was a hurdler through high school. Sprinting 110 hurdles and 400-meter hurdles, and 400 meters is pretty much as far as I want to run anymore. I don't even want to do that now. So
Gotcha.
it's basically more preference. I enjoy going to the gym and lifting. I don't really enjoy the long distance stuff. I used to.
Okay.
It's important, so that's kind of where where I try to fit it in when I can.
Yeah.
But I get my enjoyment more so out of going and lift, which is just how I do it. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, so let's backtrack before you got into more strengthening over other things. So you still have the other pieces, which is good.
I try.
Like a little bit of cardio, a little bit of, do you do any mobility work, like yoga stuff, or is that part of your like stretching routine to get into strengthening?
So I'd say minimal yoga. Again, more now because we're doing home workouts.
Yeah.
I actually enjoy it. I enjoy it because I know it's good for me. I don't
Yeah.
enjoy it. I'm good at it. I'm pretty bad.
Gotcha.
Yoga is not relaxing for me whatsoever.
It's painful.
It's nothing mental. It's mentally stressful for me.
Yeah, gotcha. The opposite of what exercise should be doing.
Exactly. But I know it's good for me, so I try.
Gotcha.
Mobility work, it's something I'm actively trying to get better at incorporating in.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to learn more about it. I do know a little bit about it, but I don't practice as much as I'd like to.
Gotcha.
So that's what I'm trying to incorporate more into my routine now.
Okay. Gotcha. So you have those pieces now, but what was your journey like, let's say from high school through college, through undergrad, and then through Chiro school? Like, what were you initially doing? How did you get into movement? How did you get into becoming active? How did you say, like, this is something you want to do or something you want to pursue, something that's important to you?
Yeah, so when I was young, I always played sports growing up.
Yeah.
I was a hockey player for most of my young life. Soccer when you're a young kid. I tried them all.
Yeah.
I did lacrosse, baseball, just athletic. I enjoyed it.
Right.
So that was pretty much, it wasn't a conscious decision for me at the time.
Yeah.
It was something that I did for fun.
Gotcha.
So I didn't think of it as, this is more than just having fun, trying to win, getting out and playing sports I liked. So that was basically my introduction to moving sports, was more of, this is fun to do.
Yeah.
As I got older, it kind of continued that way, I'd say, through, high school. I played the sports I liked. So that was volleyball and track and field mostly is what I focused on.
Gotcha.
At that point, I kind of stopped playing competitive hockey.
Okay.
So it was kind of, something different that I didn't do outside of school was the track and the volleyball. My brother actually in high school, he was really into weightlifting. So that he's an older brother. Anyone who has a sibling, kind of knows.
The rivalry.
Yeah, rivalry.
You're like, I want to get bigger than you.
You kind of follow in their footsteps. So
yeah,
he was into weightlifting a lot, and that kind of got me into it a bit.
Gotcha.
Through university, I continued that. I played varsity volleyball for my first year of university.
Okay.
So still kept up with the volleyball. At that point, I didn't do track anymore, but it was more out of just enjoyment at that point. Once I stopped competitive volleyball, I played intramurals because I liked it.
Gotcha.
Gym because I had fun. It wasn't. It was more because it was just fun.
Yeah.
And then I incorporated that into where I am now. I still play volleyball because it's fun, but I know the health benefits of it. Now it's more, I incorporate the health aspect into it.
So do you train, like when you're doing strengthening, are you training so you can be better at volleyball, or is that just like what drives you to do the strength training component?
Previously it was to be better at volleyball. It was to be better. I worked a lot on my jumping ability, trying to get a higher vertical for volleyball, things like that. Agility. Volleyball it's a highly agile sport, so you need to be able to move really well, as you know.
Yeah.
That was initially to get better at those sports.
Gotcha.
Now it's more to stay active, and the weightlifting is more because, like I said, I enjoy it, but I also want to appear that I'm in good shape.
Yeah, it's important, especially being a sports doctor. Like, I think it's very important.
Yeah. So I want to, like your whole series is, I want to walk the talk. I want to, if I'm giving health advice, I want to be able to, for people to look at me and say, okay, he actually does it himself.
Yeah.
That's just important to me. I like that. I like getting advice from people that I think are doing it as well. So I think that's important now in my practice and my business.
Right. Okay. Going back to the fun part, we watched tag last night.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
and it was like it was about playing a game so that you would have fun and you never lose um, your childhood, and you want to play tag forever. It was actually based on a true story because at the end they showed like there was like 9 guys who actually played tag for 23 years. Yeah, and it was like they had like a particular in the movie they had a particular month that they could go out and tag people. So
Yeah,
someone might just like pop up, let's say at your practice, and be like, "You're it," and then
that's really
now
cool.
and then now you got to go find the next guy. So you might have to fly to a new city, might have to go find him, and then put on a disguise and then go tag him because he could run away.
I
Like,
like that. That's
yeah,
sweet. Well,
yeah.
that's
So
extreme, obviously.
right.
Uh,
So it's obviously an extreme, but it's like it makes sense though that you want to stay as active. And I think a lot of times we lose the fun part of it. It becomes, oh, I'm doing this to stay fit, but then you're just like going through the motion, but you're not enjoying it.
yeah,
Strength training, I don't really enjoy. I still do
right.
it because I think it helps me in treating people or playing whatever sport I want to play. But I don't truly enjoy it. I actually enjoy playing the sport. But I do realize that when I am strength training, it does help me when I'm playing. I'm not getting pushed around as much. My vertical is better. My endurance is better. It's just better overall for me. So I do think it helps a lot. But I think a lot of times people lose that, and that's where they kind of fall off the wagon. They kind of go through the motion, and then they get bored. Maybe they run out of different workout ideas, things like
Yeah,
that. Maybe they don't. Maybe they're not attending a fantastic gym, right?
yeah,
That has new routines, new ideas, new concepts that they're not used to. I think it's good to kind of do group training every now and then. Um,
yeah,
Even personal training, I think it's good. You can get a refresher of different ideas. You might not realize that you can fire up your glutes in a different way or your quads in a different way that you didn't think was going to be as painful. And
yeah.
then you can kind of add that into your routine. I think that's key.
Yeah, I think the variety is important.
Yeah.
And I think ultimately, like you said, it has to be fun or else people aren't going to want to do it. And it becomes a chore. We have enough stuff we got to do. If health it turns into one of those things that I got to do it without actually wanting to, then that's a problem.
Right.
But I think the fun aspect shouldn't get lost, but it does a lot of times.
Yeah. It's like cleaning or any other task. It's like you don't want it to become like that where you're just going through
Like
the
a chore.
motions.
Yeah, you don't want it to be a chore.
Yeah.
So I think the variety is good, not only for the benefits you're going to get from it, but it actually keeps you interested in it. So
Right.
I agree with you 100%.
Yeah. Okay. So what's your biggest obstacle in getting people or athletes or let's say family and friends to move?
I would say probably falling out of routine. A lot of people, they were active when they were younger. They kind of fall out of routine, and it's hard to break that cycle, I think.
Yeah.
So, someone who has a long-standing injury that hasn't really addressed it for a long time, they're kind of comfortable in that position. Um, they're used to the way they're doing things.
Yeah. Or it's also like fear avoidance.
Fear avoidance, absolutely. Yeah, someone told me, they could say, someone told me I have arthritis in my knee. They said I can't jump,
Right.
and then they take that and but that was 10 years ago.
Yep. It's
And
an idea
so,
that's been planted into their head.
yeah, I think that for me, that's what I see as the biggest problem for your average person.
Yeah.
For athletes, uh, a lot of them, it varies. Some really want that quick, uh, you know, I did something that's better. Athletes are tough, and I think you know that. They want it. They want to be treated now. They want it to be fixed now because they have the mindset that I need to get back out on the field or the court.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's a tough one, I think, for athletes. They're used to playing through pain and kind of dealing with it,
Yeah.
but sometimes, it's going to take a while, or it's going to take multiple treatments, or you're going to have to progress a movement or an
Right.
action.
But I enjoy treating athletes because they're so proactive. Like they're willing to put in the work. Whereas someone, let's say, is on the couch, isn't very active, just does their day-to-day work, and then that's about it. Like to
Yep.
get them to be motivated to do something because they're like, why would I want to jump more? There's
Yeah.
no incentive. There's no
Yep.
sport that I want to play.
Yep.
So my thing is like I usually try to find something, a sport, a movement that they enjoy. might be hiking, might be table tennis, might be actual tennis, might be something else, right? But I try to find one thing and I'm like, listen, our goal is to get you to there so then you can have fun and then it's not a chore anymore.
Right.
But we have to go through the chores in order to get there because you're not moving as much right now.
Yeah.
And then trying to get that idea out of their head, like, listen, like, it's not a debilitating thing. I've seen worse cases and they've resolved and they've gotten better. You can do this too. Or at least let's give it a try. Like, there's more incentive. But I think with the athletes, I think it's almost easier because they're more like, I want to go out there. What can I do? What can I do? What can I do? They're always asking. For them, I actually have to hold them back sometimes because I'm like, listen,
actually, yeah.
let's not do 5 sets of 10 for clamshells. Like, I don't think that's going to be super beneficial. I know you want to get out there. I don't think it's good to like really hammer in your glutes just because you have low back pain or whatever it is, whatever I prescribed it for. But I think for them, I need to actually hold them back and be like, listen, just take it easy. Don't rush out there. Because if you do, your body's really good at disguising it. So it might make you use your left side more. You may not drive to the right as much. You might, skate more on the left side, whatever it is. But they're gonna cheat in some way. They don't realize it, and then 3 or 4 months later, they have some sort of other injury that's actually happened.
Right. They tend to buy into the whole aspect, I think, a little easier. But you're right. Like with the hockey players, sometimes you'll get like an AC separation, and a week later they're saying, "Can I go?" Like, I'm good. You're like, no, you're not. Like, you're not good.
Well, so that's how you test the. That's how you do those functional tests, right? You just kind of see. You're like, oh, you think you're good, right? Okay, let's do an overhead squat. Let's see what you got. And it's like they can't cheat that. They can't hide that.
Go stick handle for me and see how that feels. See? So they're like, oh, the exercises are going well, but I go take a slap shot and it hurts. I'm like, well, then,
you're not good.
I'm a slap shot or you're sitting, like, and you got to sit them because they're going to take a slap shot.
Yeah. So, or they're going to be a moving pylon.
What's that?
Or they're going to be a moving pylon on the ice.
Which is no good for anybody.
Yeah. It's not good for the team.
Yeah.
What else was I going to say? I think that's good. Okay. Anything else you want to add to that?
To that one? No. I think it varies by person to person too. So I think that's what a lot of people